I just didn't feel right because I was having this pain on the left side of my body, but it wasn't overly intense. It was just weird. 4 or 5 minutes later, the feeling started to come back, and it was more intense this time. So I literally took my phone and I said, "Hey, what are heart attack symptoms?" And here it came. American Heart Association came right up, and I said, "Oh, yep, nope, yep, nope, yep." And so I was like, "I think I'm having a heart attack." Called my wife. I said, "I need you to come home. I think I'm having a heart attack," and I'm calling EMS.
I rushed home, and he was just laying on the couch, but really calm.
I remember the technician asking me, "So, David, it was in French. All this was in French, of course, in Paris. And between 1 and 10, how do you feel?" I was like, "Man, this feels like a 9. This hurts." Got 2 heart stents that day. I had a 90-degree blockage in my LAD, which is your left anterior descending artery, which is, as they call, the widowmaker. So I was in ICU for 6 days, and kids aren't allowed. So they didn't get to see me at all. I suddenly just wasn't there for a week. And when I came home, it was a pretty emotional reunion. And I ended up back in the hospital here in Austin and got 2 more stents. It was a strange feeling. It was a bit of a defeated feeling. It was, oh my goodness, maybe I won't live to be 95 like I just assumed I would.
I just wanted to encourage him, for me just as much as for him, that everything was going to be okay, and I just, I wanted normalcy in our house, especially with our kids. I just, I wanted them to know that everything was going to be okay.
Since more than half of men die on their first heart attack, I'm happy to be on the survivor side of that equation.
Some of the most common misconceptions we hear on a day-to-day basis from patients is that they can't have heart disease, they're not overweight, or I can't have heart disease, my cholesterol's normal. David is a good reminder that heart disease can affect anybody. For that reason, I think his message is very powerful and very impactful.
The easy answer, and I think it's the right answer, is that we're not spring chickens anymore, none of us, and that we have to take this seriously.
80% of heart disease is preventable with diet, lifestyle modification, exercise, and avoiding toxic substances. So 4 out of 5 cases, the leading cause of death in the United States, can be prevented just with modification of what we're doing.
He's gathered a group of guys that cycle 3 days a week. It's encouraging each other to live a healthy lifestyle.
And so while we all hear about cancer and Ebola virus and Zika and all these things are all terrible, what's the number one killer of Americans every year is heart disease. And so you're going to find yourself on the right side of the curve if you get ahead of the game as opposed to being like me and being behind it.
Not everyone with heart disease goes out and tells their story and becomes an advocate for heart disease. And the reason why David does that is because that's what kind of guy he is.
I've seen so much good come out of this. Even if it was just one person that David encouraged to get healthier.
There's so much knowledge being gained each and every day through the Heart Association that things that didn't exist 5 years ago, I've already got stents inside me that didn't exist. And so who knows what's going to happen in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, all of which I plan to be around.
I think one thing we do is we look at what is true today and we kind of think it's always going to be that way. That's one thing that this experience has made me look at, is it's not going to always be that way. So plan for my kids, and plan for what health problems they might encounter. So of course I want to be investing today for what's ahead.
The American Heart Association's goals are so closely aligned to what we strive to do as cardiologists on a day-to-day basis through education, awareness, research. These are the things that are going to help change the face of heart disease going forward.
This being the 20-year anniversary of the Heart Ball, where do I plan to be in 20 years? I would certainly like to still be traveling the world like we do right now. My kids, in theory, will be gone and married. I might be a grandfather at that point. And so if I get 20 more years of it now, and I can't wait. I think that sounds like a great opportunity to get to 61. I'm going to work for that.